This is a Caterpillar 242D skid loader. It's made by Diecast Masters. It's in 1/50th scale. Now this is probably one of the most surprising models that I've picked up in a long time. And I mean that in a good way. When I first saw that they were going to do some skid loaders in 1/50th scale, I thought, all right, that's cool. I'd like to have some. And I saw, I guess in the promotional photo or whatever you want to call it, that it had the three implements here, the forks, the gravel bucket, and the standard bucket. And initially I thought, all right, well, they probably just reuse the stock photo or whatever from the 1/32nd scale skid loaders, because they always had a grapple bucket, a set of forks, and a standard bucket. And when I opened up the tin and I seen those in there, I thought, well, isn't this nice? I mean, it's pretty cool to have a set of forks for your skid loader and the grapple bucket too. And the idea of having two different sized buckets to put on the skid loader, that's also pretty nice. And so, like I said, it was pretty cool to see those in the tin. Something else that was really surprising was I generally do not like having the little man in the seats. I think largely the colors are awful, and I think it's a little bit distracting. And like I said, I'm just generally not a fan. That being said, I think it looks really pretty good sitting in this skid loader. Having him in the seat shows off the real fine detailing of the wire mesh there in the cab, like the cage, which really looks very good. If you look real close, you can see he's got the lap bars down, and he's also got his hands on the controls, and it really just looks very good. You can see the cab glass, and you got the little windshield wiper there. It really looks good. And like I said, normally I really don't like having the guys in the skid loader, or in the machine, but in this skid loader, it looks really good. Now, it's kind of strange he's wearing his hard hat. There ain't many people out there that wear their hard hats inside a machine. I'm pretty sure that's the first thing that comes off, but that's all right. We'll let that slide. As far as the skid loader itself goes, it looks really good. Diecast Masters did a very good job on the finer detailing. Like I said, the wire mesh and all that. The paint is generally pretty good. You do have a little splash of yellow here on the cab. I think we can probably scratch that off and it'll be black underneath, but for the most part though, it's really not bad. It's not too thick that you can't see where your pin keepers are. You can even see the little grease fittings in there, or the little depression for the fittings, which is cool. You got the bolts on the wheels that you can see. You can see your access panel there, and again you can see the bolts for that, which is pretty nice. You got your lights in there, lights on the cab too. They did a pretty good job on the emblems, and this being on the skid loader is all pretty fine, pretty small detailing, which is really pretty nice. The wheels roll pretty good. Range of motion is really not bad. I think it's pretty darn acceptable. It'll hold pretty much any pose, and when it comes all the way up, it'll sort of snap into place. There we go. So that's basically your raised position, and I think that is pretty darn close to being accurate. Dump angle's not terrible. Could be a little bit better, but I think it's certainly acceptable. Same as the rolling back. It's not terrible. I think that's actually probably pretty good. Now this bucket is just a standard, skid loader bucket, I guess. It's the width of the machine, and they're a little tricky to get off. I don't really want to break this coupler, so I've been kind of gentle with them, trying to take them on and off, because you can see it's just a plastic coupler. Now the the buckets are metal, which is nice, and you can see you have one that's just a little bit wider. I don't know if this is just like a general purpose bucket, and this is like a a high volume bucket or whatever you want to call it. Got your set of forks, which look pretty good. The base of it is, I think that's metal. I don't think that's plastic. I think that's metal. I'm not really sure. But the forks are plastic. And then for the grapple bucket, the base of it is metal, and then the grapples themselves are plastic. But they all look really pretty good. They all fit fairly well. Some of them are just a little bit tight to get on. Like these forks are just a little bit tight. But they do go on there. Like I said, I take it real slow and try not to force them in there too much. Maybe some of them fit a little bit better than others. I'm not sure. Maybe if you take them on and off a couple times, it'll loosen them up enough that it'll work a lot better. Who knows? But anyway, it's really nice. Like I said, it's just a surprising model. And for the price, I think they're absolutely worth every penny. I think they look fantastic. It's really nice to have a skid loader with some different implements that you can put on. I mean, the Bobcats that have been out for 20 years are nice, but you can only have a bucket on them. But here you can finally get a set of forks, and it's just really nice. Overall, I think it's a fantastic model. Anyway, that's about all I have for this. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to ask. If you'd like to see more of what we have, please subscribe to Maryland Construction Diecast. And as always, thanks for watching.